What up, people? Welcome to the Push About Black Show. I'm your host, Christian, and this is the Game 6 reaction pod for the NBA Finals. Toronto wins their first NBA championship today, 114-110 over the Golden State Warriors. They end the run for Golden State at the Oracle Arena. And they end the hopes for. They stopped the three-peat from happening. I don't know how you define dynasties, but some people define dynasties after three. Some people define dynasties in a specific time period. So instead of winning 4 championships out of 5, they win 3 championships out of 5, and they will be in Golden State will be in the dynasties or the championship the championship stretches of the Lakers and the Spurs, where there have been losses during the stretch of finals appearances. So here's the thing. Let's go through the box score a little bit. Siakam had 26. Kawhi Leonard had 22. He ended up with the Finals MVP, with his second Finals MVP, along with his second championship. Serge Ibaka had 15. Fred VanVleet had 22. He had a really good game. Defensively as well. He was really good in the fourth quarter. He had 12 points in the fourth quarter, and he was always defending Curry in this game as well as the series. He had a really good defensive game and all-around game as well. And Kyle Lowry had 26. He also did really well defending Curry. He had 7 rebounds and he had 10 assists. For Golden State, let's see. For Golden State, let's move it down. All right. So Golden State, Draymond Green had 11. Andre Iguodala had 22. Seth Curry had 21. Klay Thompson had 30. And Cousins had 12. All right. The Klay Thompson started out really, really well, and he had 30 in 3 quarters. He gets injured with 2:19 left in the third quarter, going up for a dunk. Danny Green goes up for the block. He didn't get a clean block, so it was a foul, but it was a good play. It wasn't a dirty play at all because he was going for the ball. Then Klay lands awkwardly. He hyperextends his knee, and even though he came back out because he fell. He landed awkwardly. He fell. The knee twisted weird, and even though he came back from going to the back to shoot his foul shots so he can come back in the game, they said the injury was really bad and he wasn't able to come back in the game. It is my opinion that if Klay plays the fourth quarter and that injury doesn't happen, then we have a Game 7. Because Klay was on pace to get 40, if not a little bit past 40, the way he was shooting. Klay Thompson had 4 for 6 from 3, 8 from 12 field goals. He played 3 throws, 10 for 10. He had very, very good. He had an amazing game, and like I said, he was on pace for 40. And if he didn't get hurt, then we'd probably be talking about a Game 7. So here's the thing. The fourth quarter was the last few minutes of the fourth quarter was sloppy for both teams. That last play for that because let's see. Green throws the ball away Danny Green throws the ball away. He was about to go do a backcourt violation, but he was able to get the ball, but he throws the ball away. Draymond Green actually guarded him really, really well. And then for that inbounds play for the Warriors, that you throw the ball across the court on the other side to Iggy. Iggy finds Steph, and that shot really wasn't. It was a decent look, but I wish the shot was better. And Curry was okay, but he didn't really have a good shooting night as well. And I don't know, man. I had a conversation with somebody before I started recording this, and I was gonna post it, but I don't know if I'm gonna post the whole thing because it was a lot of it was a lot of haterade towards the Golden State Warriors. So I might cut that in pieces and put that in there, but I don't know. But I don't know. I wanted to see Golden State win this one, and quite honestly, I wanted to see Golden State beat Toronto. Not because I don't have anything against Toronto. It's just, and I don't like Toronto as a city or anything. It's not that, but it's just one. I'm a dynasty person. Like, I think dynasties are cool. I think seeing 4 out of 5, seeing a team win 4 out of 5 is pretty dope. Seeing another team three-peat is pretty dope. And quite honestly, I wanted to see. I didn't want to see Toronto win because I don't like what they did with DeMar DeRozan. As far as you trade a guy that you just signed a deal to, and you sign a deal to DeRozan, and he wanted to stay there, and then I don't really like what was going on in San Antonio with Kawhi, but Pop trades Kawhi because of the injury situation and the trade demands after the organization kind of turned on Kawhi in response to sitting out for the injury. You trade Kawhi to the Raptors, not because that was the best deal, but because out of spite. You did get DeMar DeRozan. Shout out props to Toronto for making that deal and taking a chance. But there's a big chance that Kawhi Leonard is going to leave after this year. So after this game and winning the championship and winning Finals MVP, there's a big possibility that he's going to go to the Clippers or the Lakers. Probably the Clippers, because he's made no indication that he wants to play for the Lakers. So he's going to go to the Clippers or somewhere else. And I don't like the idea that the gamble going to the Raptors, that the gamble, one, worked, and two, if he leaves, then other GMs are going to be like, well, it worked for Toronto, it can work for us. So I'm happy that Kawhi won, just because I don't like the fact that how San Antonio did him. So it's kind of like, it's dope that he was able to do what he did for the finals, and actually for the Eastern Conference Finals as well, because he was a beast in both series. So I'm glad that he won, just because I don't like how everything went down. But then at the same time, I don't want this to be I don't want this to be a trend. Like there's rumors rather with Anthony Davis wanting to go to Los Angeles, and other teams are saying, well, we'll get him. We'll go ahead and sign for him for a year and see if we can get him to go ahead and like fall in love with our city, because that's what happened with OKC. What happened with OKC and Paul George is Indiana traded Paul George to OKC. They played a season, and then Paul George fell in love with Oklahoma City and signed Oklahoma instead of testing free agency. So Toronto figured that they'd try to do the same thing and go for Kawhi Leonard, hoping that he falls in love with Toronto and the culture, and see how well they do in the playoffs. Toronto was really surprising this season, especially in the playoffs. But I'm glad that Toronto won, but at the same time, I hope this doesn't become a trend. But if Kawhi decides to stay though, then it will be cool, and this thought is moot because he stayed. I just don't think he's going to stay, and I don't want other GMs to be like, well, we're gonna do that because it worked for Toronto, and then people are gonna be like getting these 1-year championships just to see like if that's a thing, because now you don't really, if Kawhi leaves, that basically drops. If Kawhi leaves, that basically drops the Raptors to maybe third or fourth in the conference. So it would have been nice if he stays, or even because it would be nice to see if they can defend their title. But with this gamble, he might decide to, okay, I did everything I needed to do. I'm going to go to Los Angeles now. But in regards to the Warriors and the team in the game, the Warriors played better than they usually have. This was more of a balanced game with Cousins. Cousins did well off the bench. Draymond Green played crazy with the he had 19 rebounds. 15 defensive rebounds, and 13 assists to go with his 11 points. Draymond Green was a problem this whole series, and he played well on the defensive end and rebounding and setting everybody up. The game was more balanced with the Warriors, although Curry didn't have a good shooting game, and with Klay leaving, they still don't have anybody else to kind of take the load if Curry's having an off shooting night. And that's what happened. Curry was having an off shooting night. Klay got hurt, and they really didn't know. They hung in there for the majority of the game, but it wasn't like it was close. The whole game was close. So Toronto had a good balanced game, as they always do. Golden State had a balanced game today, but it wasn't enough to pull out the win. And what happens to Golden State now is, I don't know. I don't know what KD is going to do. Klay is a free agent. So if I'm Golden State rather, if I'm Golden State, you drive a gigantic truck of money to Klay's house and offer him the max you can. If I'm KD, because I think KD has a player option. I think if I'm KD, I take my player option and rehab for a season, and then, or you sign a 1-and-1. You sign your player option, and because there's talk of him just working out for like this season and rehabbing with Golden State, and then being a free agent again next year. I would give Golden State a solid and try to get one more year with them in addition to the rehab year. I don't know what Golden State's going to do as far as They're free agents, so this team could be different as it was 2 years ago, because with signing KD, or 3 years ago, because with signing KD, their bench has suffered, and you can tell in this playoffs there was a lot of injuries. Everyone was tired, and their bench was bad. So, but anyway, that's my quick reaction to this. There might be another pod on this. If I can get Mignon Garrett's thoughts on this tomorrow, then it will be cool. Or Saturday maybe, I don't know. But I wanted to get something solo out tonight real quick. And if there's nothing else concerning this game and the finals, and in the next NBA podcast you hear from me will more than likely be the draft and or free agency stuff. There's a couple rumors concerning the Bulls and Lonzo Ball and Anthony Davis that I want to see come to fruition on draft night and around free agency and such. Wasn't able to do anything last year because I had a medical situation. But anyway, if there's nothing else concerning guests and contributors, I will definitely see you guys then. If not, see you guys in a couple days. Anyway, I'm out. Later, people.